Beautiful, spicy ladies, I'm so glad you're here today because we're diving into something so many of us wonder about. Is he just having fun, or is he actually falling for me? Imagine you're sitting across from him, and out of nowhere, he looks at you with this quiet intensity and asks, "What's your biggest dream?" That's not just small talk. Spicy ladies, that's a man who's starting to fall for you. And today, I'm sharing the 5 questions that reveal his heart is opening up. We've all been there, trying to read between the lines, decoding texts, overanalyzing every little thing he says or does. But here's the truth. When a man starts falling in love with you, he reveals it in ways most people miss. Not through grand gestures or dramatic proclamations, but through questions. Yep, questions. Because when a man's heart begins to open, his curiosity deepens. He starts wanting to know more, not just about your favorite movie or what you like on your pizza, but about you, the real you. Today, I'm sharing the 5 questions a man asks when he's not just attracted to you. He's actually falling in love. If he's asking these, trust me, you've got more than his attention. You've got his heart. Let's start with the first one. What's your biggest dream? This might seem like a casual question on the surface, but it reveals something so much deeper. This isn't just small talk or him trying to sound thoughtful. It's a window into how he sees you and how seriously he's starting to take your connection. When a man is falling in love, he craves more than just attraction or surface-level compatibility. He wants to understand your essence, what fuels you, what excites you, what future you're working toward when no one else is watching. Imagine this. It's right now, 8:20 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on this Thursday, May 22nd, 2025, and you're sitting with him, maybe over dinner or just hanging out. He looks at you and asks, "What's your biggest dream?" That question shows he sees you as more than someone he enjoys spending time with. He sees you as someone whose life and vision matter, and he wants to be emotionally involved in that vision. I had a friend who experienced this. Last year, around April 2024, so about 13 months ago, she was dating a guy, and one night, he asked her this exact question. She opened up about her dream to start her own business, and he didn't just nod and move on. He asked more, listened intently, even shared how he could see himself supporting her. She said that moment made her feel so seen, like he wasn't just there for the fun dates. He was thinking about her future, maybe even their future. That's the thing. When a man is falling for you, your dreams become sacred to him, something he wants to witness, support, and maybe even be a part of. Think about how different that is from someone who's just casually dating. A guy who's only in it for the moment isn't thinking long-term. He's not asking about the depth of your ambition or your calling. But a man who's emotionally invested starts asking questions that touch your soul. He wants to know where your heart wants to go because he's realizing that wherever you're headed, he might want to walk with you. There's also something vulnerable about sharing your dreams. They're not always polished or logical. They come from a deep place, shaped by your passions, your pain, your purpose. When a man creates space for that kind of conversation, it means he wants to know the real you, the version that exists beyond the roles you play, beyond the walls you built. Plus, when he asks about your biggest dream, he's also imagining the long term. Consciously or not, he's picturing whether your values, desires, and trajectory fit into the story he wants to build. It's his way of saying, I'm starting to care about what you want from life, because I can see myself being part of that life. So the next time a man asks you this, pay attention. It's not just a sign he's interested. It's a sign he's invested. It's an invitation to let him in, to be seen for more than your beauty or charm, but for your mission, your soul, your why. In a world full of surface-level connections, that kind of depth is rare. That kind of curiosity is what love starts to look like. Now that we've talked about how a man asking what's your biggest dream shows he's falling for you, let's move into the second question that reveals his heart is opening up. How can I help you with that? This one's a big deal, spicy ladies, because it's one of the clearest signs he's stepping beyond just interest and into real emotional investment. That simple question carries so much weight. It's not just about being polite or supportive. It's about him choosing to show up for you in a meaningful way. When a guy is just casually dating, he's often focused on how you make him feel. He enjoys your company, loves a connection, but his thoughts are mostly centered around his own experience. But when a man is starting to fall for you, something shifts. He turns outward, becoming less concerned with what he's getting and more focused on what he can give. Asking how he can help isn't just about offering assistance. It's about wanting to add value to your life. Imagine this, and you're telling him about a project you're working on, maybe something you're stressed about. He looks at you and says, "How can I help you with that?" That could mean something small, like reviewing your resume, or something deeply personal, like showing up to support you at an important event. The point is, he sees your goals as important, and he wants to play a role in helping you achieve them. I had a friend who experienced this last summer around July 2024. So about 10 months ago, she was working on a big presentation for a job, and her partner noticed how stressed she was. One evening, he asked, "How can I help you with that?" She told him she needed someone to practice with, and he spent hours listening, giving feedback, even making her laugh to ease her nerves. She said that moment made her feel so supported, like he wasn't just there for the fun stuff. He wanted to be part of her real life, her challenges, her growth. That's what this question shows. His desire to contribute doesn't come from obligation. It comes from admiration. He's starting to respect your drive, connect with your purpose, and realize that your success, your fulfillment, your happiness actually matter to him. That's powerful because real love doesn't just admire from a distance. It wants to contribute. When he asks how he can help, he's really saying, "I see the incredible woman you are, and I want to be part of what you're building." He's not trying to compete with your dreams or distract you from them. He's trying to support them, nurture them, elevate them. That's when you know this isn't just about romance anymore. It's about partnership. I've seen this in so many relationships. Women who have men asking this question, they feel seen in a way that goes beyond surface level attraction. It's not just about chemistry during a Friday night dinner. It's about how he shows up in your real life. Of course, you're more than capable of chasing your dreams on your own. You've probably been doing that for a long time. But love isn't about dependency. It's about interdependence. Two strong people making each other even stronger. When a man offers to help, it's not because he thinks you need saving. It's because he wants to be someone you can lean on by choice, not necessity. I remember another friend, last fall, around October 2024, so about 7 months ago, she was planning a big event, and her partner asked how he could help. She let him take care of some small logistics, and she said it felt so good to not have to do it all alone. Not because she couldn't, but because he wanted to be there for her. So don't overlook this question. How can I help you with that? Might seem small, but it reveals something massive. It tells you he's starting to think about your life with as much care as he thinks about his own. He's not just along for the ride. He's investing in your dreams, your growth, your happiness. When a man starts doing that, he's already halfway in love with you. It's a sign he's not just interested in the highlight reel of your life. He wants to be part of the real stuff, the messy stuff, the stuff that matters. That's what love looks like when it starts to grow roots. Right now, if you are still watching, I hope this video can help you. Your comments motivate me so much, so I can make more videos which you like. So hit that subscribe button and leave me a message. Let's continue. Let's dive into the third question that shows a man is falling for you. Spicy ladies. What was your childhood like? This isn't just a casual question to keep the conversation going. It's a doorway into your past, your heart, and the experiences that shape the woman you are today. When a man asks this, you need to recognize the emotional depth behind it. Because this isn't something you ask when you're just trying to flirt. It's a sign he's not just focused on who you are now. He's curious about how you became this way. And that kind of curiosity means something real is happening. When a man starts falling in love, he wants to understand your roots, the memories that made you strong, the moments that left scars, the environment that shaped your beliefs, your boundaries, your emotional reflexes. Maybe you grew up with a loving family, or maybe you didn't. Maybe you were the caretaker at a young age, the quiet observer, or the overachiever. Whatever your story is, when he asks about your childhood, he's not looking for neat answers. He's looking for understanding. He wants to know the little girl behind the woman standing in front of him, and that kind of emotional presence is what love starts to look like. Imagine this, and you're sitting with him maybe on a cozy date night. He looks at you and asks, "What was your childhood like?" That question shows he's willing to hear things that might not be easy. It takes empathy, patience, and a desire to connect with your vulnerability, not just your confidence. I had a friend who experienced this last winter, around December 2024. So about 5 months ago, she was dating a guy, and one night, he asked her this question. She opened up about growing up in a chaotic household, always feeling like she had to be the responsible one. He listened without judgment, asked thoughtful follow-ups, and later told her he just wanted to understand her better. She said that moment made her feel so safe, like he wasn't just into the idea of her. He wanted to know the real her. When you share about your childhood, you reveal your emotional blueprint. You show him what made you cautious or bold or independent, giving him clues about what you might need in a relationship, not because you're needy, but because you're human. When a man listens to that with gentleness, it tells you he's not looking to fix you. He's looking to understand you. That's a man who's falling in love with the real you, not just the polished version you show the world. I've seen this play out so many times. Women who open up about their past and have a man truly listen, they feel a bond forming that's based on truth, not fantasy. There's a sacredness to this question because our childhoods are deeply personal. They're not first date topics. You don't just hand that part of your story to anyone. So when a man asks and you feel safe enough to answer, something beautiful unfolds. I remember another friend last summer, around June 2024, so about 11 months ago, she shared with her partner that she grew up feeling invisible in her family, always trying to prove herself. He didn't interrupt or try to solve it. He just held her hand and said, "I see you now." She said that moment created a closeness she'd never felt before, because he wasn't just hearing her story. He was connecting with her heart. This question isn't just about making conversation. It's about him leaning into your past so he can love you better in the present. He's saying, "I don't want just a surface. I want you, your story, your strength, your softness." That's not just interest. That's the slow, powerful unfolding of love. I've seen how this kind of curiosity builds real emotional connection. It's not based on what you look like or how fun you are. It's based on who you are at your core. When a man asks about your childhood, he's showing he cares about your journey. And that's a sign his feelings are deepening in a way that goes beyond the surface. Let's move into the fourth question that reveals a man is falling for you. Spicy ladies. Do you feel safe with me? This isn't just a sweet question. It's a profound one, because safety, emotional, psychological, even physical, is a foundation of true intimacy. When a man takes the time to ask this, he's showing that he's not just in this to enjoy the ride. He wants to be someone who adds peace to your life, not pressure. That is a sign his feelings are deepening into something real. When a man starts falling in love, he begins to prioritize your comfort, not just in a performative way, but in a deeply genuine one. He realizes that if you can't relax around him, if you're always guarded or uncertain, it doesn't matter how good the chemistry is. He doesn't want to be another source of stress in your life. He wants to be a safe space in a world that can feel chaotic and loud. Picture this, and you're with him, maybe after a long day. He looks at you with this quiet intensity and asks, "Do you feel safe with me?" That question says, "I care about your nervous system, about what it feels like when you're near me," and that's rare. A lot of people focus on attraction or passion, but a man who's falling in love starts to care about your experience. He's not just asking if you trust him. He's asking if you feel free to be your full self with him. Can you take your armor off? Can you speak your truth, laugh from your belly, be soft, silly, messy, imperfect, and still feel completely accepted? I had a friend who experienced this last fall, around September 2024. So about 8 months ago, she was dating a guy, and one night, after she'd been a bit quiet, he asked her this question. She admitted she'd been feeling anxious lately, and he listened, didn't try to fix it, just held her and said, "I want you to feel safe with me." She said that moment made her feel so seen, like he wasn't just chasing her, he was building something deeper. This question reflects his emotional maturity. It shows he's self-aware enough to know that love isn't just about what he's feeling, but about what you're experiencing. He wants to learn how to respond when you're anxious, to be better at navigating your moods, your triggers, your rhythms. When a man truly cares, he doesn't see your emotional world as a burden. He sees it as a map that leads him closer to your heart. I've seen this in so many relationships. Women who have a man ask this question, they feel a shift because it's not about him trying to control their emotions. It's about him wanting to understand them. I remember another friend last winter, around December 2024. So about 5 months ago, she'd had a rough day, and her partner noticed she seemed off. He asked, "Do you feel safe with me?" She opened up about how she sometimes felt guarded because of past relationships, and he didn't get defensive. He listened, thanked her for sharing, and told her he'd keep working to be her safe space. She said that conversation brought them so much closer because it showed he cared about her emotional experience, not just how she felt about him. That's what makes this question so powerful. It's a man putting your experience at the center of the connection. When a man asks this, he's beginning to see you as someone whose heart is worth protecting, not just pursuing. He doesn't just want to be close to your body. He wants to be trusted with your soul. I've seen how this kind of care builds lasting love. It's not about the fireworks or the fairy tales. It's about the quiet moments where he shows he's paying attention to how you feel. So if a man ever asks you, "Do you feel safe with me?" don't brush it off. That's a sign he's starting to fall, not just for your beauty or personality, but for the way you experience the world. That's not just love. That's emotional devotion, and it's the kind of foundation that makes a relationship truly last. Let's wrap up with the fifth question that shows a man is falling for you. Spicy ladies, where do you see yourself in 5 years? This isn't just a cliche question you'd hear in a job interview. It's a powerful moment, a sign that he's moving from living in the now with you to wondering about the next. When a man starts projecting you into his future, it's one of the clearest signals that his feelings are deepening into love, because this question reveals he's thinking long-term. When he asks where you see yourself in 5 years, he's stepping out of the casual day-by-day energy of dating and into a mindset of vision, not just his own, but yours. Imagine this, and you're with him, maybe having a quiet moment together. He looks at you and asks, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" What he's really asking is, "Could I see myself there with you?" It's his way of testing alignment, your values, goals, lifestyle, even timing. He's wondering, can this relationship grow? Do our paths lead in the same direction? A guy who's only in it for the short term isn't thinking about 5 years from now. He's barely thinking about next month. But when a man starts envisioning your future, when he genuinely wants to know where your life is heading, it means he's emotionally invested. I had a friend who experienced this last spring, around March 2024. So about 14 months ago, she was dating a guy, and one evening, he asked her this question. She shared her dream of moving to a new city and starting fresh. And he didn't just nod. He asked more, shared his own goals, and they ended up talking for hours about what their lives could look like. She said that conversation made her realize he wasn't just having fun. He was imagining a life with her in it. This question is beautiful because it invites you to express your truth. You get to talk about your goals, whether that's building a business, traveling the world, starting a family, or writing a book. Whatever your answer, a man who's falling for you wants to hear it because he's seeing if his life could complement yours, not just looking for similarities, but for synergy. I've seen this in so many relationships. Women whose partners ask this question, they feel a shift because it's not just about what feels good now. It's about what could work in the long run. He's imagining waking up next to you, supporting each other's careers, maybe even building a home together. Those thoughts don't come from infatuation. They come from love in motion. What's also special is that this question shows his emotional maturity. He's not just playing or looking for distractions. He's evaluating what could be. I remember another friend, last summer, around June 2024, so about 11 months ago, her partner asked her this, and she told him she wanted to travel more. He shared that he'd always wanted to do the same, and they started dreaming together about the places they'd go. She said that moment made her feel like he wasn't just in it for the present. He was thinking about their future. That's the thing. When a man asks this, he's making himself vulnerable, exposing that he cares, because he's silently asking, would you want to be there with you? So let's bring this all together. Love isn't always loud. It doesn't always show up with fireworks or fairy tales. Sometimes it shows up quietly in the questions, the gentle curiosity, the desire to understand you deeper, support you better, build something real with you. When a man starts asking things like, what's your biggest dream? How can I help you with that? What was your childhood like? Do you feel safe with me? And where do you see yourself in 5 years? He's not just making conversation. He's revealing his heart. These aren't questions of convenience. They're questions of commitment. A man who's falling in love doesn't just want to date you. He wants to know you, the real you, the imperfect, beautiful, layered version that doesn't show up on the first date, but comes through when real connection grows. I want you to remember you deserve this kind of depth, this kind of care, this kind of intentional love. So the next time you're wondering how he feels, don't just look at the compliments or the chemistry. Listen to the questions. Love doesn't just show up in how someone touches your body. It shows up in how they seek to understand your soul. You're worthy of real love, the kind that listens, the kind that shows up, the kind that stays. Go out there and let yourself be seen for the incredible woman you are. Stay true to yourself. To all the spicy ladies make life beautiful, see you in our next video.